Okay, today we're here with Aubrey Smalls, and he's going to talk about his experience as a music educator. So you can go ahead and start.
I started once I was in high school. After I finished high school, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I just knew I liked playing my instrument, and that's what got me to school. So I auditioned, and then I still didn't know what I was going to do. So I did performance, and after a while, it got to be like the same thing, although I like performing. And then I transferred to Berklee College of Music. And while I was there, I asked I still didn't know what I was going to do. Teaching was not in not my mind at the moment. So I asked one of the teachers, could I teach with a professional music degree? That's where you can just kind of piece things together. And he said no. And after he said no, because you had to pass music teacher tests and all that, like praxis, I made up my mind because I needed a job after I finished college. So that's when I started making my focus education. So I did all the things I needed to do in school. And after I finished, I was certified K through 12. And then once I came back home, I thought I was going to teach maybe middle school band because I'm a saxophone player. So that I could play a few instruments already. So that's what I thought I was going to do. And if you know how the music positions work, there's only maybe like one teacher per school.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you just have to take whatever you can get. So before I started teaching, I was working at a high school, again, just to get into the system.
Yeah.
I started out as a long-term sub, and then I worked one-on-one with a special needs student. I did that for a couple of years, and then I got a call when I was doing marching band camp, telling me that they had a part-time position open, which was an itinerant position, and it was for elementary school. And I think I called them back like the next day and said, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
And that's how it started with elementary school. And again, I didn't plan on teaching elementary, but again, you just take whatever is open, and then you make everything else work. But it turns out that I really enjoy elementary school, and I'll probably stay here as long as
That's awesome.
as long as I'm supposed to.
Yeah. So what drew you in about the elementary school once you got your position?
Elementary school, it really takes you out of your element. It really does, just because they're kids, so you have to be a little more animated.
Yes.
Whether you want to be animated or not, you have to think like a kid sometimes. Dress up when they have whatever, the pajama day, even if there's something you don't normally do. Because if you don't, you'll see the little disappointment in the kid's face. It's like, oh, okay, I'll get it next time.
I'll get my pajamas on.
Right. And then it also, when I said it took me out of my element. Now I play the piano a little bit, but I'm not like a fantastic piano player. But my main goal was to play as much as I could.
Yeah.
So being in elementary school, I forced myself to play it almost every day. I would find a song that I can play. And then I would include that in the curriculum, so that way I would teach it over and over again. Like, what was the song? This Old Man. So I taught myself that one, and now you have like 5 kindergarten classes out the week, or first grade classes, and we have to count to 10. So I'm playing this thing about I don't know how many times in a day and a week. So for me, it was beneficial because now I'm practicing the piano. They're still having fun. So it's like we're both getting something out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also taught myself the ukulele.
Awesome.
Because I got stuck in one class. It was a self-contained class. Well, it wasn't self-contained, but the students came to me, again, another like a autism day program. And one of the students was having a little meltdown, so we went back to the classroom. And I was relying on my piano, which I couldn't take with me.
Yeah.
And so I sang a song a cappella, which it wasn't that great in my opinion. And after that, I said, I need something else I can take with me. The guitar is a little bit too much. So I was like, well, let me try the ukulele. It only has 4 strings. Maybe it's a little easier. And after that, I've been playing it ever since. And I'm not fantastic on it, but I'll
helped
make
you.
it work for what I need.
That's awesome. it's good to have those skills and to build those skills while you're teaching and doing your job too.
Oh, yes.
So that's awesome. So what keeps you going as a music educator?
Oh, there's always something you don't know, something that you can't do, and something that you want to be better at. I guess that's pretty much life.
Yeah.
So when I see other teachers who teach well, or veteran teachers, like, man, I wish I could do that. Or even if it's playing the piano better than what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
or just being able to put things together like ensemble stuff on those orff instruments
Mm-hmm.
that I haven't done before. So it's always just searching for something else that you can't do or something that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's a great drive to keep you going and keep teaching and working for new goals.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's awesome. And then you said that you have a book that you wrote and one that you're writing. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, the book that I wrote is called Fun Songs to the Classroom. And how I started writing this one, I didn't really plan on writing a book,
Mm-hmm.
but I got tired of the hello songs I was doing in class because they would work, but it was just like, okay. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I'm gonna see if I can write my own hello song.
Yeah.
And I wrote it, and I kind of liked it. And again, the test is always to play for the students. So I just said, all right, I have another song for you that I'm going to teach you. So I played it for them, and they started clapping along without any prompting. I was like, all right, this must be this is a good one right here, because
Yeah.
the kids, they don't if they don't like something, even if they don't say it, you'll
Yeah.
see it all in their face.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not really into it. But once they started clapping along, I was like, all right, I think I had this one. I played it for some more classes. The
Mm-hmm.
responses were the same. It's like, okay. And then after that, I had another idea for something else, maybe a name song to help me learn names.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, I liked that one. I played
Yeah.
it for the students. They liked it. And then the process just kept on going. So it wasn't really my intent to write a book, but before I knew it,
Mm-hmm.
I had quite a few songs. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to put these in a book
Yeah.
and see what happens. And so the end result was I have 20 songs in this book right here. This that I have right here.
Awesome.
I didn't. This is the first book that I've published.
Mm-hmm.
The journey was it was long. It was always something else to fix. Or once you think you're finished, it was just something else. One more thing that you had to do.
So how long did it take then for you to get it published after you had compiled everything?
Let me think. I think I started doing that. Let's see. It was right in the middle of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Just because I don't remember when I didn't write down when I officially
Yeah.
started anything, and it was always like a little bit here, a little bit there. But
That's really cool. And it's good to have that resource too for your classroom now. You have them all in one spot, and I'm sure other people love it too.
Oh yeah, the response I got from the people who have purchased the book is great. Or the hello songs that I have shared,
Mm-hmm.
they said they like them, and it worked out well for the students. So that's more what's the word? Not satisfaction, but can't think of the word. Confirmation that the song that I wrote is good, and it's not only for me.
That's awesome. That's such a great. And are you writing a new one, or is it just?
Well, how this one works is I actually had more than 20 songs that I wrote all together, and I was going to put them all in one book.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, well, don't do that. You should split it up, because now you're already going to have, like 3 books.
Another,
and if the first one doesn't do anything, maybe the second one will, or maybe it's the third one.
That's
so great. Those will come out. I don't know. I didn't really do anything with that, but not yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have the songs written, but
yeah, that was a good idea though, because you look at other books, 20 songs is a lot for one book. So
yeah, I think it was a good amount. And I'm thankful my brother told me that, because I think it worked out better.
Mm-hmm.
But the other book is a children's book that I am coming up with. I
Awesome.
actually already wrote it.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about the sloth.
Hmm.
So, and the read how I got this is students would always wear shirts that said like, slow jams on it with the sloth or relaxing. They would bring stuff to school,
Yeah.
stuffed animals. So one day I just said, I'm gonna write a song about the sloth.
Hmm.
And I was gonna use that and reference what's the guy's name? Eric Carl's book, Slowly, Slowly Said the Sloth, something like
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
So I wrote the words, and once I finished, the words just kind of came out pretty quick, which doesn't always happen all the time.
Yeah.
But they came out pretty quick. And then after I wrote them, I was like, well, hey, I kind of like these words that I wrote.
Hmm.
So now the next thing was to figure out a song that would go along with it.
Yeah.
The song came out pretty quick, easy, also, which also doesn't really happen. And the words just kind of fell in place. And after I had that, I was like, well, you know what? I'm not going to use the other person's book. I'm just going to put this in the book myself.
Yeah.
So the main goal was just to write the song, so I had something to use to tie into the book that was already written.
Hmm.
So that book, I wrote that one last year sometime,
Hmm.
and then so I played it for the students. I think some of the classes I told them I wrote it. Some of the classes I didn't tell them I wrote it because I didn't want them all to be biased and say they liked it just because I wrote it.
Yeah. You just wanted to see what they thought.
Right. So some of the kids say, "Oh yeah, I like it." Some of them like, it's okay. It kind of repeats a lot." It's fine. I invite them to be,
Mhm.
honest.
Yeah.
And then I think the real selling point was what I had them do in the class. Because after I played it, I was like, "All right, now what I want you to do is all of you guys are going to be sloths.
Hmm.
So, tell me what you know about the sloth." So they tell you, oh, they move slow, they stay in the
Hmm.
trees and everything. I was like, okay. So now when I play this, you have to move as slow as you can. You can crawl on the floor. You can go underneath the chairs. You can crawl on top of the chairs, but you can't talk. You can't touch anybody. You can't move fast. And I'm going to look for a sloth champion at the end of class. So the first time I did that, I'm still laughing to myself because you'll see the kids barely move out of their seat. They're really trying to win this
This
this sloth champion
competition.
right here.
Hmm.
And they will love it, I think, and you can hear them laughing, maybe just because they didn't have you don't normally get to crawl on the floor or crawl
Yeah.
on the chair and do the stuff that they want to do.
Hmm.
And then after that, I think that really sealed the deal for them because next week, some of the kids say, "Hey, Mr. Smalls, can we do that sloth game again?"
Can we do that?
Once they say that, it's like, I know I got you now.
You're like, okay. That's
If you
amazing.
insist.
And yeah, anytime you can get them moving to stuff and giving them some character to put on, they're like, ooh,
Oh,
I like
yes, they're
it.
all for it.
Hmm. That's awesome. Well, that's going to be a really good resource too for you in your classroom and for everybody else too.
Oh yeah, and I've told the kids, and they've always asked like, when are you going to finish? I was like, well, it takes a little bit of time,
Yeah.
just because. And the art teacher who's at my school, she was going to illustrate it for me.
Oh, awesome.
So it'll
That'll
be
be
once it's finished, it'll
that'll
be
be a
good.
really special collaboration once you get that finished. That'll be a great thing to keep and remember. That's awesome.
Oh yes.
I love that. Well, do you have any advice for new music educators?
New music educators.
Hmm.
Um, I think you just have to be yourself and don't worry about, the teacher who was there before you, whether it was good or bad. Because people always say, oh, this person, did X, Y, and Z. You have to fill their shoes, but really, you're not going to fill their shoes because you're not that person.
Hmm.
You have to be you.
Yes.
Take some things you like that they did, some
Hmm.
things you don't like. You don't have to do them,
Yeah.
and just as far as building a relationship with the students, still be fair, be
Hmm.
respectful to the students, and then as long as you're fair and respectful and consistent, you'll build that relationship and they'll grow to like you.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any tips that helped you become a successful in your career?
Um, well, it always feels like um, you don't know what you're doing sometimes, or it's always like a self-evaluation thing about, man, I could have done that better. I
Yeah.
don't think that will ever go away, but I got to work with other teachers, which is not always the case because I was an itinerant. So I was able to work with some veteran teachers, or I always had another music teacher who was there so I could get ideas from them. So as far as what made me successful is probably seeing what other people have done
Mm-hmm.
and taking any workshops, classes that you can take, because everything kind of, you piece everything together and you kind of make it everything you own.
Yes, that's awesome. And then one of my last questions, and then if you have anything else you'd like to talk about, my last question is, what's one of your favorite memories or experiences that you've had as a music educator?
That I've had as a music educator. Um, I mean, they are my favorite experience I've had as a music educator.
Yeah, experience, memory, anything, one of your favorite moments, whatever it is.
Oh man, there's quite a few of them. Let me.
Doesn't need to be the best one. It can be one of your tops or just a good one.
um, hmm. One of the students said to me one time, because I have a chain, a gold chain, and it has a dollar sign on it. And one of the students said to me, "Hey, Mr. Smalls, I thought you were a robber with that money chain on." Like, oh, is that what you really think, buddy?
You're like, okay.
I was like, all right, but if that's what you think.
You're like, okay. Some of these kids, some of the stuff they say is just, they just say it.
Yes, they will say anything that's on their mind, and that's what's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love my younger kids. They just say what they're thinking, and that's great.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about today before we finish up?
I don't think so. Just my website, because I can't tell people about the book and not tell them where to get it from.
Yes.
It's just smallsmusic.com. You can get the book there. You can listen to songs that I wrote some songs about the leprechaun that the students absolutely love, and just all the songs that are in the book.
So smallsmusic.com.
Right.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad we'll be able to go check it out.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today and for sharing all your experiences in your book and your website. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a great rest of your summer.
All right. Thanks. You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.